afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, amazing Propagandacast with the one, the only Master Propaganda, Imperial Dane. Off here to 1 vs 1 owner Kholodny Ferma. In the west it is Miragefla fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, the 1st Panzerdivision. Versus in the east it is Creativename fighting here for the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, the Red Army, taking on the role here of the 5th Tank Corps. We got Guard Rifle, Armoured Assault and Guard Motor with double infantry in mind versus German infantry, German mechanized and assault support with double Pentagon and infantry buildings there for Miragefla. We got a, by the looks of it, rush start here as we got double Pioneers, 74 in the way from Miragefla. No sign of the infantry company here, so Miragefla could very well be aiming here for a fast tier 2 with Pentagoners and doing the heavier carrying. But while he's already setting up here to protect the cutoff points, and usually if the opponent gets in, they'll use that little strip of heavy cover, so usually again the trick is to wire that off and to deny that little movement there. Heading southwards over the engineers up north here, they'll see sort of almost the same thing except on a much bigger scale, since if they get to here and occupy the house here, they can sort of threaten this area very nicely. So this little compartment here tends to be a bit of a bastard for the Western player. And this got Miragefla might run into a slight headache. But they say using it, nope, how he does here, he has the Pioneers, which have longer view range than most other units in the early game. Spot for the MG42 is going to suppress the conscripts there. Nice play there by Miragefla. Second MG42 following up there. And with this, the active events then Creativename for me securing this, but also rushing for the house. So double strike there by Miragefla, and overall a sort of nice restoration of the situation. The South Indian is going to grab territory. Second MG42 out there for Miragefla. I imagine as soon as he has the resource, he'll then try and take up for the like mechanized company. Of course, he needs a bit more fuel for that. Just a bit more. Triple conscript out there so far for Creativename. We'll likely be seeing a 4th squad. Wiring off there. MG42 heading towards the centre here. That's the other one. It's moving forward. No, we actually got triple Pioneers up for Miragefla there. I guess he's figuring he's might as well to get at least some more force out on the field. Comes there's the MG42. Creativename here going for the 4th conscript squad. I imagine there'll be Molotovs to help deal with the machine guns, since Molotovs and conscript tend to go well together versus MG42s. If you know how to flank this. If you don't, they may not quite have the mileage you're hoping for. In this case, he's just sort of walking around here, basically sort of forcing the machine gun to reposition, then move again, reposition. In this case, they're a bit too slow. I can hold it with the arc of fire there from the top window there, something also to be mindful of. Can be a bit tricky with some buildings sort of keep moving about like that, and again, this is where Molotovs would have been very helpful, but either he didn't care, he forgot. Or, of course, he might still be planning to do so. Anyways, triple Pioneer style MG42 Miragefla taking up their Creativename there with 4 conscript squads. In the south, they're securing territory as well nicely. Might want to get some Pioneers towards the centre as well to do some work here. I mean, if theoretically it would be good here for Miragefla to let some Bart 1 maybe sort of to help fortify the machine gun position there. To make it harder for Creativename just to rush up with a Molotov against it, if he does go for it. But so far, we don't know. Double Pioneers north for the MG42. Pioneers are wiring off here, basically trying to make it harder for Creativename to just move freely here against Miragefla and the 1st Panzerdivision, East Prussian, or at least that was the origin of the Panzer Division. It was also very interesting in the very early stages of the war. Interesting division that was actually very heavily equipped with armoured half-tracks, where most divisions in the very start of the war usually only had like a company worth of armoured half-tracks. The 1st Panzer Division actually had 2 battalions worth of it. So that's a little fun note there. We got Pentagoners on the way there for Miragefla though. Note here though how he's sneaking about with engineers behind Miragefla's front line, sort of cut off territory there. Nice play there by him. In particular exploits the machine guns, since again they can only cover one area easily. So by sort of sneaking up there, he's going to have to force Miragefla to respond one way or the other, causing quite a bit of disruption there. We can see Miragefla here trying to return the favour, rushing for the co-op on there. Nice work. MG4 dealing with engineers, but the co-op on us. We got the Pentagon is out there for Miragefla. Flamethrowers being handed out there to the Pioneers as well. Engineers pinned down, comes to the flank, got the Pioneers moving up the flamethrower, hitting the car on there. Pentagon is setting up, there'll at least be one more squad there out from Miragefla. Pioneers can deal with the conscripts here, burning away and shooting away with the MP40s. More infantry are ramming there for Creativename to sort of push back Miragefla. Car from caught by the MG42, all remaining here inside the church. And there go car point hit. But obviously we can see the Miragefla of Creativename there's quickly responding with more infantry to quickly pluck off that gap. Panzer then moving ahead with the Sturmgewehr fix it. Again, you could also call it the MP44. I mean, some people call it one, one call the other. Technically, both are correct, since in terms of like technical level, they're exactly the same. It's just basically a change in naming that sort of happened to make it sound more theism, really. So that's a little fun note there. MG42 they're holding up. We got Pioneers reinforcing. He should be reinforcing soon enough. Can go for another Panzer Grenadier squad. He could also try and go for German infantry to go for stormtroopers. That's another option there for Miragefla to consider. Obviously they're constantly about there. Quick hoorah there. Panzer moving to assist the machine gun there as the flank is getting exposed, but caught him the machine gun bungus at the edge of the base there. Creativename's little maneuver there ran into a few issues. We've got take up there for Creativename. We got anti-tank grenades, we've got medics, but no Molotovs, interestingly enough. But there you go, Panzer is moving forward. Second squad on the way there for Miragefla and the German army. But yeah, no sign of a doctrine as of yet. MG42 they're being hauled forwards. Like to make a nice company, so there'll be some packs or 2-2s here for him. He's obviously worried about light vehicles, but at the same time, he does not seemingly wants to go for Panzer and the Panzer if he can avoid it. So he wants to rely on the Pack 40s as opposed, or again, other light vehicles. Or he might be planning something else. We'll have to see what's going on in the Miragefla. There's a few options there open, obviously. Are we going for the cough point again? We got a big push in for into the north. We got one Pioneer, got flamethrowers to hold off against all those troops. He's going to need to bring in machine guns and, of course, Panzer Grenadiers to stop this Soviet onslaught there from Creativename as he charges forwards for the motherland. MG4 opening engineers quickly suppressed, then Panzer's moving forwards here, heading northwards. Troops suppressed, they're going for the cough or field point there. Pioneers need to retreat there in too poor condition. I think keep fighting here from Iraq and they go down to just one man. Conscripts routed, very good. Cough point hit, moving further down southwards. Machine remains here to cover that territory. So in this case, you can see there, Miragefla is just looking to just cause as much disruption here in Creativename's supply lines, rather than secure as much territory as you can, and that's also definitely a good way of going things about. And there you go, half-track on the way. Very likely, of course, going to be a flamethrower out, but there's always the off chance he might actually be planning something else with it. And if you had Storm or Jaeger armor, there could certainly be the potential there for a Regal mount to maybe be tossed down. That could actually be quite effective as a Creativename. We might want to be taking up soon. I'll wait, half-track almost down there for Miragefla. Mittlerer Schützenpanzerwagen. Engineers surrounded by the MG42. So there we go. Noting he's actually spending munitions on other stuff, so he may not actually be planning a flamethrower upgrade here, which means he might actually use it to reinforce troops, maybe in transporting troops. That'd be very interesting there from Miragefla. Comes there being engaged by. There we go, quick anti-tank grenade. Not enough to finish it off, but Sen's going to acquire support for it. Pioneers hitting a mine there. We got mine up from Miragefla finally. Still can get up the Pioneers reinforced about a half. Check as the Panzer wing as well here and just, you know, repair it while getting reinforced up north here. Panzer's coming to the cuff point there. Lots of intense action. We got their tag up for fine, not fine terror, but Creativename there back in base. Taking out there. Tank in command. Not quite able to push out a T-70 fast, but he can certainly go for it. 251 there being repaired. The 251 was based off a, well, basically 3-ton sort of half-track tractor or prime mover, which was basically just then, you know, up armored, and there you go, you had an armored half-track for infantry. Similarly, that's this roughly the same story behind the 250 half-track as well, which is sort of like a 1-ton version that was just basically turned into an armored half-track for transporting purposes and other things there. It's a little fun fact there. It's technically also what they did with a lot of French half-tracks with the 21st Panzer Division. Well, technically it was the Baustab Becker, which would then create them for another unit, which would then later transfer them to the 21st Panzer Division. I can't quite remember the previous unit. It was some kind of Sturm Brigade that was sort of then France. But yeah, they basically sort of did the same. They just converted a lot of regular French half-tracks to sort of armoured half-tracks. Pack forward in the way there for Miragefla. You might want to just pop some stuff in there quickly to react to his moves. Of course, you might want to be ready to form up a strong point here, but you know, half-tracks do so nicely on the move as well. No doctrine yet, therefore. Miragefla, we got Creativename there with Guard Motor. T-3045s, Guardsmen, Heavy Mortars. Still, he's sort of linking in there, digging around the cuff on there, obviously looking to pull off a pin there. Panzer's moving northwards to assist the Pioneers in the north. Pack 40 out there. MG42 then the move. Oh, good to go as well. More flanking around here. Note here that Creativename, of course, while he could try and just launch assaults at it, he's not looking to immediately just try and destroy it. He probably wants to start properly for it and then sort of destroy it in a better order, which is definitely the right approach there for Creativename. You got Panzer the Pioneers moving there. I mean, again, at this point, I feel like you just keep the half-track sort of moving about. The quickly allows to just shift his troops about from point to point. rather than use it here. I mean, it's sort of like a command point you can just move back, which I guess is nice, but I feel like it's possibly missing out someone to do more damage than sort of just effectuate more effective either attacks or faster attacks or defenses. Flank here, but again we got the half, we got the pioneers here. Panzers there, sort of holding up. Probably should hit them about there so they can't be engaged at max range by infantry. Probably been on those out there. Creativename's up. Miragefla is trying to do a lot here versus Creativename, so I mean those things can happen. Could pop into the arm page now to help deal with the guards behind the heavy car more effectively. Works quite decently there. And do we get the Panzers out the half track? 9. MD42 planning saying southwest of north here. Panzers there being slowly pushed back. He might again want to pop something to the half track rush up. We got the T70 out here though. There you go. Panzers routed. Conscripts barely suffered anything from that. And T70 in. They need to retreat. The other Panzer going to escort here. Do we have any tech up? Yes, we've got tech up there. In the south here, Pioneers Grand Territory. We also got some Telemines up here, which could of course catch up a T70 other armoured vehicle there from Creativename. But yeah, right now we can see what Creativename is doing. It's basically just avoiding Miragefla's strong point here, which is, you know, again the sensible approach there. Basically sort of forcing him to either rack, but then just grabbing time north. So, well, I definitely like the half track. I feel like Miragefla could be using it a bit more actively, a bit more aggressively, so that way you can try and counter Creativename's moves a bit more effectively. And then go T70 flanking in, need to get the Pack 40 up there. You could use the half track to block the movements of the T70, making it easier for the Pack 40 to sort of focus it down. A bit more risky in some ways, a bit trickier, but it can work out. T70 there, moving about, half track traffic trying to close in here. This is where the lack of grenadiers for Panzerfaust are proving to be a bit tricky there. And again, note he's using the Pack 40 as basically not a screen for the half track to screen for the Pack 40 there. Might get a bit of a chance of taking out the T70. Specifically, what he's trying to do is avoid the T70 sort of outmaneuvering, getting past the Pack 40 here. And going to the RPs as well here. Nice work there. Panzer there coming the flank. Nice over there by Miragefla. Really dicey stuff there, but really beautiful, mostly beautifully handled there by him. I think again it could have been handled a bit better. And some reason, do also feel like he slightly set this up for himself as well by just not being more active for that half track. But you know, minor complaint. There was still some very solid half track handling there. But he's going to need armour up fast. He could probably rush out an Ostwind here. Maybe Stug. More mines I think would also be good to do here for Miragefla. More ways to catch up with T70 for that matter infantry. Need to reposition the machine gun again to protect against big pushes here. I mean right now Creativename should be aware that there's, you know, no machine gun covering this particular arc of fire, so he needs to get that in fast. And he also needs to keep some infantry covering up there. So Paul McCormick's done there for Miragefla. Machine gun turning about, but could be a bit late there. Though it is Vetri 2 had the better chance this time the troops fast due to its hard suppression. There you go, troop flank from the north. Half take is being repaired. 2 kills, half H Vetri 2. Lots of work here. Lots of action. Machine gun there routed. Half to there closing on Vetri 2, which is decent. Which also I believe gives it a slight offensive bonus. So is that Vetri 3? Can't quite remember. Panzer they need to retreat in the face of the T70. Half to there taking some damage. 3 kills though. Pack 40 shooting away there. Panzer the close being wiped out. Other squad hitting with engineers and the conscripts. And there you go, Vetri 2 half take out there for Miragefla. I mean, it's making much easier to maintain a good field presence here versus Creativename, which is actually really handy as the armor due to your low squad numbers. Now go moving ahead, and of course, as long as they're close to the half track, they do become harder to kill as well for say the guards, and of course they're keeping the half track at a very safe distance to avoid getting murdered by the guards. There you go, taking heavy damage in there on the guardsmen, and we could see a wipe here, we could see a wipe, there you go, down they go, could we be able to steal the field gun here, would be huge for Miragefla, and a bit of a blow there to Creativename, particularly if he then follows up with some armour fast. In the south though, Creativename there pushing through with solid conscripts, moving northwards here slowly with some panzers and pioneers, need to be mindful of course of the T70, which is quickly moving in here, almost got the field gun, but certainly some potential issues there. Medic bunker up there for Miragefla. Basil jumping up to his little box, which is now standing right next to my computer screen. Basically a shoebox top. But apparently he likes it all the same, so you know, it works. It works. For the most part. Big push there from Creativename into the centre. Troops are healing and forcing. Flak Panzers very close. You could also go for the Stu, but I think in this case, considering also the fuel harassment is denial there to Creativename, a Flak Panzer is a reasonably safe choice here for Miragefla. Of course, works much better as the light vehicles and infantry right away. And that's obviously what Miragefla right now wants, solutions that work fast. We also got Mechanized here from Miragefla. We'll see what that ends up with. The Defender gives them some options here. Artillery, though I don't think it's going to be very helpful. Command tanks could be useful. Smoke, and I guess there's Mechanized Grenadier Group, which isn't too bad either. Also, rather affordable now, 430 manpower, 20 fuel. And you're actually getting the Grenadier Escort there at a reasonable discount. Panzers there backing up their half track. Of course, getting rewarded by beginning force, and of course, also the combined arms bonus, making just again a bit harder to kill and also move fast. Decisive strength northwards here, mine down there. Creativename, they're certainly in a bit of advantage versus Miragefla at the moment. There you go, Flak Panzer out from Miragefla and the German army, the first Panzer to be shown. Panzer them in forwards rapidly. So far there. Got the Flak Panzer northwards. He's going to like go for the T7. He needs to be a bit careful, but at the same time could put more pressure on Creativename's northern push. Centerward start giving them machine guns and infantry. More Panzers there ramming from Miragefla and the first Panzer is short. Flak Panzer northwards here, catching the constant pretty bad spot. T7 taking hits as well from 40. Almost got it, in fact. Might just be able to take it out here with the Austrian, in which case you can bypass the field gun and destroy that as one, particularly if they get the Panzer gun that is in there. And again, as soon as they get remotely close, they'll be able to much easier keep pace with it, which of course is going to be a real big problem there for him. But nope, decides not to. We've got more countrymen in there. In fact, threatening the field gun right in front of the Austrian in front of the anti-tank gun. Not the other way around. There you go, Contra being heavily damaged by the Panzers. They're actually 2 half H of 3. We've got more infantry in there though from Creativename. Flak Panzer being pulled back for repairs. Need to attack elsewhere and make progress. I definitely feel like Miragefla right now is lacking infantry, and this is why you generally always want 3 infantry squads, minimum, particularly as the Wehrmacht. I mean, you just need at least a certain amount of infantry to be able to, like, you know, pressure the field sufficiently enough and just do enough damage that way. And right now, with just 2 Panzer Grenadier squads, Miragefla is a bit short. So I mean, I feel like he needs to go for another Panzer Grenadier squad, I suppose. I don't know, call in the Mechanized Grenadier Group, but you know, he needs 3. It's a rule of thumb which I find tends to work quite well. So we'll have to see what he ends up with. Grenadier Group, or I don't know. Oh, it does become the Grenadier Group. Interesting. Not something you see very often, but here we are with Miragefla and a Mechanized Grenadier Group. So that's actually 2 half-tracks now from Miragefla. 1 light and 1 medium. Going straight for the counter one, again there with heavy machine gun fire. There you go, causing a quick rout. So now he is at 3 infantry squads. We'll of course have to see how he handles that one. Certainly gives him a lot more offensive firepower. Particularly then fills the other half-tech with some Panzer Grenadiers. Could actually launch some quite effective assaults, in particular in conjunction with smoke bombs to further suppress or Creativename some of his defences. He can then rush in there with some swarm support and probably just disrupt an entire defensive position very rapidly. But that does of course require sort of considers it and wants to do it. Flak Panzer being down here, 4 kills so far. We got 380 versus 381, actually very, very close in terms of victory points. Closing in victory on the Panzer Grenadier. Motor on the way there for Creativename. That's a pretty solid choice there. Gives him more combined arms. He's always got machine guns and anti-tank gun. Of course, the field gun, which can also double artillery. But the Austrian just does the job. Or Motor does the job a bit better. Maxim firing away there at the Pioneers. Smoke bombs off. Oh, we could see an assault here. So there are mines in the way, but there you go, half-tank moving in, but no Panzer goes inside of it. And I feel like this is a slightly missed opportunity then by Miragefla, or perhaps he just didn't have in mind what I thought he had, but there you go, Panzer flank from the south. Problem is though, they're at half health. But I like the idea though. I like the idea, but overall it lacks more elements to it. I mean, again, this is actually disrupting Creativename's formation, so again, if there have been some mechanized elements, then charge in to take advantage of this. Like the 250 half-tech rolls the Panzer side of regular half-tech, that would be great, but instead, as you might be noticing, it's not quite panning out like that. It's sort of ending up a bit more confused. Lee and there Golson's going to charge it straight into a mine. Half-tech charging in the Panzer as well, though he must have been able to pull it off though. Might still have a shot here. Panzer's moving forward, clearing out the field gun, taking heavy damage here. He's close to losing the Austrian, but if he can get rid of that field gun though, maybe he can steal it, that'd be great here. should get the other half to get in there with more troops. Get the half to get in there. Support the panzers at the front line. Line to reinforce and get more stuff in there. Huge attack here that's actually disrupting. It's actually working out there. Even again, I feel like that could have been done better. But, you know, he still did it, though. And that's what matters in the end. He damn well did it. He took out the field gun. He caused grievous harm there. Too creative name, though. He can soon hit with tanks and rifles like one of these Stoogs. He's destroying the field gun. I'd probably just recruit with a panzer gun of these. That way, the lower health unit will sort of, you know, grab that one. He can reinforce them, sort of get them up to full health faster. And, of course, he'll have another anti-tank weapon, which I think would be a very good idea there for Miragefla, but that's just me. But in the end, destroying it also works. Either way, though, good push there up north. We got harassment moving in. They need to get some troops inside their half track and, you know, charge northwards there. Panzers, there we go. In fact, a pretty good choice there from Miragefla. 5 kills there, not too shabby. Also close to virtually 3. T-35 almost done there. And again, this is, you know, where a field going to back up the pack forward would be great. But otherwise, Stoogs. Panzer IVs obviously tend not to do wildly well against the T-34-85. Flak gun being hauled back for repairs. Machine gun fire in the centre. There you go, charging the counters here, going in aggressively. Engaging, and there you go, routing those Bolshevik bastards. Nice counter-attack, there we go. Ace level, panzer gun is added, 23 kills, very solid. Engineers come from the northwards, T-34 ready to bash through the centre again. There's only a single pack forward to really stop it. Pioneers in the south need to retreat, but they're going to get murdered there, since these two slugs realise that, or wasn't paying attention. Which I think is the more likely answer anyways. MD42 there, white, that's quite a blow there to Miragefla. He's going to need those Stoogs. There we go, Sturmgeschützstrike ausfungi on the way there from Miragefla. He's going to make a run for the MD42. Pack 40 shoots and misses the T-35, but he loses another Pioneer squad. I mean, he's only just one Pioneer squad from 3, which actually had not too far to go. Needs to get the flak pans up to defend the carp on there, as Creativename just now keeps up the pressure there. And I feel like he should have grabbed that field gun and probably see me also lay down some mines to make it harder for Creativename to launch a counterattack, because if we're able to lock this down for any armoured assaults head on, I think they'll actually be in a much stronger position. But then again, those can be sort of some split decision making there that can be tricky to make when you already got so much else going on there. Stuart on the way there, half take defend the cop on there, being used much more defensively. I'm not super sold on that, but we'll see if that works out. Flak Panzer moving through the centre, backed up by the Ace Panzergrenadiere, and there goes Stug 3G out there from Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. Engineers being routed, Panzer moving forward. Quite a bit of damage there being inflicted, but not enough, not enough. Going for the car pump, we got the half to there opening up with this machine gun. Should be, there we go, suppressing them. Hitting the car on their pants because they're losing half the unit. Nice man there for Creativename. There goes 2 charges forward at the T-35, landing a nice hit. Punch going to block the car point. Another hit there, T-35 in fact down to half health. Also going to hit the car point again. Back here we got healing reinforcement there for Creativename and the 5th Tank Corps. And these should probably get moving as well. And I feel like you should just get the half-tank mobile as much as possible. One just having parked to do nothing. Flak punch of the 14 kills, veterans you won. Very nice work there. Half-track closer to 3, fixing up the Stug. Pioneers on watch there. You might want to actually consider laying down some mines. S-Mines will protect against harassment. Telemines could of course catch up any armor that might try and flank through there. There you go, Counter as the Flak Panzer, up close in fact and very ugly. And stops firing there. I suspect it's because they didn't want to risk setting off the Telemine there with the Flak Panzer. Ooh, that was one hell of a shot that takes out half the committee squad there. He should probably go for another Stug. I mean, he could go for a Panzer or something else now, but I definitely feel like when you go for one Stug, you generally want 2. Since Stugs are just units, I find that just work best in pairs. That way you can also threaten Creativname so much more effectively with 2 Stugs and just, you know, quickly sort of keep up reasonable pace, but also just do a lot of damage. Need to get the Panzers reinforced and getting close to the half of there again, almost ace level. They can reinforce here. I'm we got a howitzer up now here from Miragefla. I don't think that's the best choice here. I might be wrong, obviously, but I don't quite feel like Creativename's for sort of quasi-howitzer. Well, of course, have to see how it makes use of them. He can make really good use of the howitzer, it can still work out, but I don't feel like Creativename is sort of like heavily dug in here, and compared to, I feel like Miragefla's the one sort of tends to place more defensive anyway, so the artillery that way. Yeah, I don't know. Panzer thing north is backed up by the flag Panzer going here for the fuel point there. Conscripts always dug in, taking here farther from the Panzer Grenadiers. Again, 2 ace level scores, and of course backed up by the Austrian again. The conscripts are going to have a much harder time dealing with them. There you go, routed, in fact, almost wiped. Very, very close there. T-Fed following in there. Howitzer almost down in the centre there. Creativename keeping up pressure here versus Miragefla. Stug moving in. There you go. Direct hit here on the T-3045. Field going to explode. We got conscript up on the flank though. Spotting scopes enter the Stug. Half track hanging back. They're super close to it. T3, but still not quite getting there. Pack whack, bit of a blow, but the howitzer's good to go, and we got smoke bombs in. Also, I think likely partly he's also planning to using it for spotting purposes for the howitzer. The question, of course, is what on earth is he intending to murder with it? I'm guessing it's the machine gun. When he's moving out. Yep. First shot falls a bit short, but all here we can see Creativename's quick to get it out of there. In this regard, he might actually made a mistake in using the smoke bombs there. Well, probably didn't know it was there. I hope so, because I think what he ended up doing was actually calling attention to the machine gun, which of course is a bit unfortunate. T-3045. Then again, that requires a news there already. So yeah, I don't know. But you know, just pointing out there again, the smoke more or less either incidentally or and purposefully drew attention to the machine gun, making it much easier for Creative to realise, hang on, that's under fire. I need to get it out of there. Either 2 T-35s out there, Miragefla's certainly going to find himself a bit pressured. Additionally, he does not have enough pot cover there for the Stug, number 2. Due to the howitzer, and that could be a problem. This, and again, he's going to risk not having enough firepower, in fact, to stop the 2 T-35s. I mean, he's got 1 Pack 40 and 1 Stug to stop 2 T-34-85s. Which is also the other sort of issue again with the howitzer. Again, he just eats up pot cap, and you know, they're not going to stop T-3045, so if Creative now just begins pouring in T-3045s, and Miragefla might be in for a rough time. Turbine set off, that's unfortunate. Still engaging there, close to Veterans 1. Veterans 1 getting there, fighting for the centre. For the south here, we've got machine gun there being assaulted by the T-35. We need to get out there fast. Black Panther move ahead there, we got 20 kills on it, that's pretty good there. Up north, T-34-85 advances. Panzer are defending the northern fuel point. Conscript nearby as well. So far, the howitzer's not really done a lot there, except, of course, signal its existence to Creativename. And, of course, signals Creativename that he's not have to, at least he has to worry about 1 less Stug potentials again. That's essentially what the howitzer's blocking there. Pack 4 landing nicely on the T-3045. Howitzer firing again. This time he's trying to take out the mortar, but due to his presence there, due to the tree line there, the trees are going to absorb a lot of the fire there, meant for the mortar, making it less effective. He's actually lost some units now. He could go for another Stug, and he should go for another Stug. He could go for the command tank, but oh, there we go. Good hit on the mortar. $368 versus 218. Flag punch staying into it. Mortar there routed. In the centre, we've got the T-35 coming in there. Field gun is well nearby. Need to get some armour up. Let's back up the Panzer Grenadiers, or there's in a very, very bad spot against the T-34-85. And now Miragefla is going for a Panzer IV. I definitely am not a fan of that move. I mean, again, 2 T-35s is going to need more Stugs to sort of really threaten them. The Panzer IV is just not wildly cost efficient in that sense. But we'll have to see how it works out. Like, it's definitely not what I'd advise. Got 368 versus 188. Miragefla is rapidly bleeding out victory points here. Half tanks at this point not really doing a lot either, particularly on this one. I mean, I feel like he should be using this one a bit more actively, but he needs to put more pressure on Creativename. Go sort of look at his force composition. I mean, it's not really one that I feel like is sort of super suited for the sort of style of defensive plays like trying to do. I mean, maybe Joe could pull it off, but so far it does not seem to be wildly successful even with Miragefla. He needs to go on the offensive. He needs to try and surprise create him, get some kills here and then just wipe out stuff. He needs to, clear out the support weapons. If he could steal the mortar, the field gun, that'd going to be really good for Miragefla here versus Creativename, but so far he just seems to be holding back. Panzer IV out here. T-55 they're hammering away at the pioneers in the centre. 151 versus 368. And up north here we got the T-55 going in there. Stuke being engaged. Veterans 1 there. Routing the T-55. Now shoots a flare by way there for Creativename to make it easier to find out what Miragefla's position and sort of deal with that. Panzer then being routed by the T-45. Flak Panzer going at it. Very close to 22 actually. Further northwards we got the Panzer IV. We got mines down here for Creativename, very good. 104 versus 368. Then these veteran 2, we got a lot of conscripts bunched up there. Panzer IV also been able to do a lot of good. Oh, that bomb grenade didn't do as much as it could have, sadly. Flak Panzer there, super duper close to veteran 2. 131 versus 368. Stuke has not been repaired either. Solidify again, not really doing a lot here. I mean, so far from Miragefla. Pack taking down, got the half to already on site. We got the Panzer IV moving in as well. Up north, we got the Osprey there with some PAPs in his board, if we can get it going there. Further to the fire, raining down like deadly raindrops. And we got Creativename full out now with a regular T-3476. Probably what he can afford to get out in terms of command points. Yep, or population points. And then got Panzer being flanked by the T-45. Need to get that one out of there. $98 points left in Miragefla versus the 268 of Creativename. Stuke engaging. Misses, and in fact it's almost destroyed already. Cons coming up, they could rush the Stuke and take it out with another tank grenade. Panzer they're not fully enforced, trying to get that smoke bombs off. I think around here to cover up. We got a T-44 that's going to disrupt things anyways. 77 versus 368. The situation for Miragefla remains horrific, and there we go. Panzer going to use ace level, wiped by the T-34-85. Still coming up there, backed up with Max, putting hair fire there from the Flak Panzer. Direct hit there. Canadians need to retreat. Harps are hammering away there. We got 5 kills still. Stuke goes to the T-45. No one moving in. Oh, that's a 76, never mind that. You know. Slightly close. Smoke bombs in. Close to 52 there on the Stuke. Miragefla does seem a bit paralysed at the moment. Like he's trying to figure out what he can and can't do, but it's sort of resulting in making a lot of sort of smaller moves, and I think sort of, has a serious chance of breaking the dirt line here, I think, versus Deadlock versus Creativename, and it's not exactly a Deadlock that's helping out a bunch, so machine gun team wiped out. 53 versus 368. Taking air fire from the Flak Punch, got the T-45 moving in, got the Stuke nearby as well. Pack wiped out, the half turn out turning about. 49 points left here for Miragefla. South has been entirely forgotten. We got mines to protect against any possibility he might actually move south there by Creativename. Very good work there. Panzer IV up north taking out here as Creativename strikes up there as well. He just keeps up the pressure. His tank from as many angles as possible. He's just only a bit tricky there to manage, but Creativename so far seems to be doing quite well. Then we got marked vehicle on the Stuke. Flak Panzer could possibly deal with the aircraft there. and deny that. But there you go, second T-44, that's filling next moment to help deal with the Stu. And the Stu goes down, got the T-45, but right now, Miragefla is being destroyed here beneath the armoured fist of Creativename. Shattering the 1st Panzer Division, whose lines are now in utter disarray here against the Soviets. 251, or 250 after in trouble, they're about to get knocked out. At 251 though survived quite a bit of while there, but in the end does bite the dust alongside the Austrian with this. It's GG, I think, safe to say here. Miragefla has lost the battle. And there you go, surrendering, GG, game over. A nasty little fight here on Kholodny Ferma, highlighting showing what you can do with the half attacks. So again, I feel like Miragefla got too passive with them too fast, could have been more aggressive, could have attacked more, could have tried to flank more. Versus Creativename, I feel like that's just the overall biggest sort of mistake I think Miragefla did. He just, I think, got too defensive and he never tried to sort of change that around, which overall gave Creativename plenty of initiative and just kept up pressuring Miragefla while Miragefla just struggled to break it. The house in this regard ended up being quite a waste of resources as well when he really should have gone for more Stugs. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. And if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. This is Imperial Links. Cheers, thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. I hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.